Hello cross-cultural art project students, this is Heidi Tungseth, your art teacher, coming at you at week 9, the last week of the quarter. So make sure you get your art projects in by noon on Friday, no later. Before that would actually be great. But last week you made a pinch pot out of the air dry critter clay that I sent you in the mail, and this week you'll be painting them, decorating them with a pattern. And we're going to look at an artist this week who is from New Mexico, and she's actually Pueblo Indian, and she's created some beautiful pottery. A lot of it is black pottery with black designs on a black base, just contrasting a matte finish versus a glossy finish. It's really stunning. And it's interesting because I realized that 2 years ago I went on a backpacking trip to Utah, which is right next to Mexico, and we went to a place called Grand Gulch, which is a national park that's just beautiful, hiking along the desert. There's rock faces on either side and just these kind of eerie white dead trees climbing up to the sky, and there's a river cutting through the park. So we just backpacked and camped along the way. But in Grand Gulch, it's incredibly interesting because there are still cliff dwellings of the Anasazi Indians who lived about 2,000 years ago. So there's still remnants of one of the oldest civilizations that we have in the United States. So it's really cool. We could hike right up and actually walk into some of the little cliff dwellings way up high in the cliff, and there were actually pottery shards that were still left on the ground. So we could see what kind of pottery they made, what kind of texture, what kind of colors. There were even little bits of corn on the cob that were still there because they used to cultivate corn on the cob and squash, and it's so dry apparently it hasn't decomposed. And then one of the other things that was really neat about the Anasazi ruins was there were pictographs and petroglyphs in the rock faces all along the area where they lived. A pictograph, I have to make sure I get the words right. A pictograph is a painting on the rock surface. I'm sure a lot of you have seen pictures of this, but people would crush up different stones and get this different pigment, you know, if you've drawn on the ground with a rock before and it's kind of like chalk. Different rocks have different colors, and they've grounded it up, added water, created this paste of different colors, and so it acted like paint. And then they would make handprints or paint different symbols, oftentimes very like stick figure kind of people or animals or spirals, different symbols, and I'm not sure what they all mean. I would love to research that actually. But petroglyph is similar images, but they're carved into the rock with a tool. And I have this pot that I purchased when I was in New Mexico right after a backpacking trip, and it kind of replicates that petroglyph, the carving in the rock. So I wanted to show you this because I thought it was pretty similar to the pots that you've made, and it might give you some ideas for a pattern that you might want to make. This pot more than likely was created on a wheel, excuse me, because it is so perfectly formed. It has really nice, consistent, thin walls. It's really beautiful. It's quite tall. It could have been formed by hand. It could have been a coil pot, but I'm guessing it was thrown on a wheel. So in decorating this pot, the artist used the base terracotta color that you can see in the inside as well. And then he painted black along the top and along the bottom, and then there's this kind of turquoise green that fades to white and back to turquoise again. It almost looks airbrushed or spray painted. I'm not sure how it was applied. But then the pattern is created like a pictograph, like a petroglyph, and that it was carved out all the way around. So you can see that he carved off the black paint and the green and white paint and revealed this terracotta color underneath. You can even see the texture of the tool that he was using that left kind of this ribbed or striped texture. That's pretty cool. You can see that he used symbols that were really similar to, these are really similar to the petroglyphs that I saw on the walls in the Anasazi ruins. Stick figure-like people, different just kind of geometric and some organic shapes as well, some really angular geometric shapes. Then here you can see, where is it? This really organic spiral shape. And again, I'm not sure what these symbols mean, but they're repeated all the time. Here we've got some dancers. This is really fun. Making music of some kind, playing like a flute, dancing around. It looks like a sun up here. So some really cool imagery. And then also there's just some basic patterns that are repeated. You can see up at the top there's this border created by 2 horizontal lines and vertical lines interspersed in between. And then that pattern is repeated down below on a larger scale. You can see in between the symbols of the people, there's this section of these kind of stair-step patterns, and then this organic, almost like a leaf. It makes me think of a leaf at the bottom. In the southwest of the United States, I'm not sure why, but there's this color scheme that's really, really common, this turquoise contrasted with the terracotta. And all I can think of is it replicates the nature of the area, the bright blue sky contrasted with this terracotta earth. Hiking in Utah or New Mexico is quite a different experience than hiking in Minnesota, to be sure. But yeah, so this is a beautiful example. Here's a great pot. Now you are going to make your own, and I'm excited to see what kind of patterns you come up with. And again, you can use, I don't think I said this yet, but you can use whatever kind of medium you would like to decorate your pots. If you were to fire a pot in the kiln, you'd have to use a glaze that's specific to the temperature at which you fire it and the type of clay that you're using. But for you, you can use tempera paint, acrylic paint. I've even heard of students using watercolor paints, so you could use that as well. It's up to you how you want to decorate your pot, but I'm excited to see the finished product, and have a wonderful spring break. And I hope to see you at open houses on April 7th. So nice work so far in the class, and I'll try to update the gallery as soon as I get images from you. So if you don't see it by the end of this quarter, I'll include this quarter's photos in next quarter's so that you can actually see some of each other's work. One more thing. I have to show you my necklace. I forgot to show you. I am wearing the paper bead necklace that I bought in Rwanda. So, and I've loved the necklaces that I've seen that you guys have made. They've turned out awesome. So it's been really cool to see that. We should all have a bead. We should all wear these to the open house, actually. That would be kind of fun. Maybe a little dorky, but it would be fun. Okay. Nice to see you all. Hope to see you soon. Okay, bye.